Hello everyone, today I will talk about the Mayan calendars and the Tzolkin calendar as well upon your request. So the most famous Mayan calendar, because we know there's 18 to 20 different calendars that the Maya had been using, and the most famous one is called the Long Count. And the Long Count calendar, according to the archaeological arguments, because this is not really a fact if you look at the Mayan people, that it ended on 21st of December 2012. Many people would interpret it as, oh, this is the end of the calendar, the end of times, like it's a big catastrophe waiting for us. Nothing happened. The Mayans never argued that there would be a catastrophe or something like that, the end of the world or something like that. You can actually see a documentary online called The Shift of the Ages, where the Mayan leader Don Alejandro Ojla actually explains what it means. It's a very beautiful documentary. I hope you can find it and enjoy it. Well, we are going through the shift of the ages. According to them, maybe 2015, maybe 2020, there's this shifting of the ages that is we are going through now, according to them. And this calendar was based on a 13 Baktun cycles. Actually, if you look at it, it's just the end of another 13 Baktun cycle. A new 13 Baktun cycle is starting at the end of it. What is a Baktun? It's 400 tuns. There is a intermediary time cycle called Katun. A Katun is approximately 20 years. Although the Mayas have a solar cycle, solar calendar, which is called Had, which is 365 days. And every 52 years they will have a 13-day gap, which adds a quarter day for every year as well. But their astronomical cycles are not limited with this. They have a Venus cycle calendar as well. And the Tun cycle, where the Baktun is based, is 360 days. It is more of a spiritual calendar, we would say. And it's somehow the shifting of the ages, shifting of the collective consciousness. This is a whole huge story. I don't want to go into it now. I want to focus on the Tzolkin calendar, which is a 260-day calendar. And that is also a spiritual calendar. That's a very ceremonial calendar. But it's more individual. What it means. There's I guess you're familiar with, there's a 20-day cycle. There's a sign that is, or a day sign or Nawal, that is ruling one of these days, and every day has a number as well, from 1 to 13, and the combination of them makes 260 different days. And at the end of these 260 days, it goes back to the first day, and it is going on forever like this. The Mayas have been using it for 2,500 years, as far as we know. So why is it an individual calendar? Well, the 20-day signs actually are resonating with the 20 main amino acids, according to one interpretation. In our body, there are 20 main amino acids, and we have 20-day signs. And 13 tones actually represent our 13 main joints. We have 13 main joints. If you look at your body, of course, I'm not talking about smaller joints like fingers, but wrists, elbows, shoulders, knees, ankles, hips, and the neck as well. It makes 13. 20 and 13 somehow is very related with the individual body, the human body. And 260 days is also very, very interesting. It is approximately the time that baby is spending in the mother's womb. When we're in our mother's womb, we spend approximately 260 days. So it's the cycle of the human evolution. We are going through our first Tzolkin cycle before birth, and then we take our birth, and then every 260 days we are having a Tzolkin birthday. If you are following my website, that is a very, very important day, that the exact same combination that we were born, when it comes back again, is a very strong hiatus day for us. You can also see my video about the hiatus days and understand its meaning. So, and when we look at the cycles of the astronomical cycles, like the moon cycle or the solar cycle, we cannot see something like a 20-day cycle or a 13-day cycle or 260-day cycle. It's not based on the stars or the planets or the moon, yet it's very powerful, it's very accurate, and it gives us a lot of guidance about who we are, why we came to this life, What's our spiritual purpose? How we get all this information? Well, as you know, when the Spanish armies landed on the Mexican Yucatan Peninsula, the Mayan civilization was not at its highest, but they were still strong, and they all have these astronomical systems and spiritual practices. And there was this famous writer, Diego de Landa. Actually, he was a Christian priest, and he actually contributed to the burning of many of these books and huge damage to the Mayan culture. But one thing he did good was he noted down everything about what he observed, and he wrote down books in the 16th century. You can find his books, Diego de Landa, and he will talk about the Mayan Tzolkin as well. Of course, he will talk about the Yucatan names and the Yucatan understanding of the Mayan Tzolkin. And according to this, for example, something very interesting, the first sign is the alligator sign, the Imish, according to their pronunciation. So, but when we go towards more west, and when we go to Guatemala, where actual Mayan people are still living and practicing their traditions, the first sign of the Tzolkin is not that, it's the bats, it's the monkey in the Yucatan system, we call it chuen. So there's some little differences according to how they understand, but the count is the same. For example, today when I'm recording this video is the 13 bats or 13 chuen, 13 monkey day. And in both Yucatan understanding or the actual living Maya people in the Quiche, this is the same. Just in the Yucatan system, the first alligator, first image is the beginning of this day, but according to Quiche Maya, it's the 8th bats, the 8th monkey day. That's the first day. It's the day that they will celebrate with huge fires all around the country, and this is like a little difference, but still the count will be the same. There's another very infamous calendar called the Dream Spell, were invented by Jose Arguelles, which is also another huge story. I don't want to go into that, but they, according to them, today is not 13 monkey, it's a completely different day. Also, your birthday will be completely different, so your sign will be completely different. This is not authorized by the Mayan elders or the Mayan people at all. So, okay, coming back to the story, the historical story, when you look at the Yucatan Peninsula, it's like a huge area which there's almost no mountains. So when the Spanish army came, they just took over the Maya and they started torturing them, killing them, unfortunately, like burning their books. So the Mayan civilization very, very quickly diminished from the Yucatan Peninsula. But when they came to Guatemala, the Guatemalan mountains are very high, volcanic mountains. Like if you go there, you will be amazed by this geography, like 4,000, 5,000 high mountains everywhere. So the Spanish army couldn't come here and couldn't conquest all the Mayan people. So the Mayan people were very strong and they resisted and they kept their traditions until today. I know that for some of you this is a big surprise, but the actual Maya people are living in Guatemala in a huge population. They had the Guatemalan Civil War, which was also a big tragedy, but somehow they are still alive today and they're keeping their traditions, especially around Lake Atitlan, and Chichicastenango is a famous little town that is kind of the heart of the Mayan traditions. Anyway, they have a spiritual leader. They have the Council of Elders, and the Wandering Wolf is their leader. He's almost, I think he's 89 or 90 years old, and these days he's having a big health problem, and actually there's a campaign to help him financially. You can contact me directly or Joseph Giovi, who is actually collecting the funds and sending to the people who will help with his health. You can find him online or just write a message under this video. I will help you contact him, or I can transfer your funds to this person as well. So this is the story of the Quiche Maya. And the last thing that I want to mention before I forget, the Mayan people, they make ceremonies actually every day. They honor and bless the energy of the everyday, and they ask for the blessings of these days. The 4 directions is very important for them, because according to one of the mythology, that their prophets, they come from the Pleiades stars, actually the star system of Pleiades, and they come to this world, 4 of them, and 4 of them went to the different directions. One of them has went to north, and the other ones went to south, west, east, and west. The whole 4 directions. So, and they will worship the 4 directions, and they will make ceremonies with candles belong to 4 different colors: white, yellow, red, and black. So each of these colors represent each of the directions. And this is another story. Actually, there was a question coming to me about it, but I think it's been quite a lot for today. I will keep it with my next video. I will talk about it. And until then, please, if you have any questions, or if you want to know more about Mayan system, Mayan astrology, Mayan calendar, or anything else, just let me know under the comments. And until tomorrow, take care.